Okay, so in this video, let's perform the algorithm, guys, infix to postfix expression using the C program. Okay, so I need three header files for this. One is stdio.h. That's the basic header file that you should include in every C program where you use printf and scanf functions, and string.h and ctype.h. Okay, and I'll tell you the use of ctype.h very quickly. Please hold on, and I'll also declare the array. It's gonna be, I mean, the stack, it's gonna be the character stack. Okay, so it's gonna have the size, say 100. All right, so so it's a character stack, guys, because it's gonna store only the characters. Okay, so I'll say in top, let me name it stack so that it will not confuse you. Okay, so top should be there, right? So top is -1 initially, I told you this. And I think let me go for the size variable also, and let me have the size. Stack is temporary, guys, so you can have 50 or whatever you want. Okay, stack is temporary. All right. In this program, as far as this algorithm is concerned, your input is going to be an output string, and output is also an output string, right? So in between these two, the stack will be a temporary one. So you don't need to actually care about the size of the stack. Okay. And let me write the code for void push and pop. Quickly, let me do fast coding. Okay, you know what is it, right? So I'll say character pop. It's not void pop, because I want to return the element which I am popping. You know that, right? You have to pop from the stack and you have to add it to the output string. That's how the algorithm works. We have seen this in the previous video. So for that purpose, I am giving it as char and not void. Okay, so void push. Just a minute, hold on. All right, so here I for push I have to have a character. So let me say character item, because I have to get character for push. Just for you to for a revision, I'm writing this code again. So first of all, let's check the stack overflow condition, guys. So stack overflow. Okay, stack overflow, and that's pretty simple. You just have to say size equals to top plus 1. All right, so you do that, and if that is a stack overflow condition, then you go for printf stack overflow. All right, else you know what to do, right? You know what to do. Else if it is not full, then you can actually push the item, right? I'll say I'll increment top first, and I'll push the item. Stack of top equals to item. That's it, very simple, right? And you can also print I have pushed this one, but that is not necessary. Let's leave that. Okay, you can also use a printf statement to tell the user what you have pushed, but that's not necessary. Okay, that's just for our understanding. And that is a character pop. Okay, all right. So if top equals to -1, it's actually underflow, right? So I'll say I'm checking whether the stack is empty, because popping means removing. So first of all, let's check whether the stack is empty, because if it is empty, we couldn't remove anything, and that condition is called as stack underflow. All right. So else you can go for you can go for actually pushing. Pushing is very simple. First you just return it. Okay, so return stack of top minus minus, and we have seen this statement in the previous algorithm itself. I told you what it will do. Okay, it will first return that particular element, and it will decrement, which means return and pop. Okay, first of all return that and you can pop it. Okay, that's the idea of this statement. So it returns a character. That's why I have character here. You know this, right? I think we have already explained this in the balancing the parenthesis itself, right? So that's it. All right, let's go to main function. Of course, I need one more function. I need a function called as a precedence to check the precedence, because here in this case you know that if an operator is encountered, then you have to check the precedence, right? You have to check the priority. You know this algorithm, and to do that, let me have one more function called precedence. All right, so int precedence, and it should take a character. So I'll say char chr. Okay, it should take a operator. Okay, so I'll say OPE, that will be better, right? OPE, so operator, it will take an operator. All right, so precedence, let me define it later. Okay, so that you will be able to understand this more clearly. Let me go to main function now. Okay, so let me write some code in it. So I'll be having two strings, guys. One is input string and another one is output string. All right, input strings may be having a size 123, and output string maybe 120. It's your wish. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, So I'll need two strings, input string and output string. This is very important. Okay, very important. All right. So after that, you just use printf and get the input string. Enter the infix expression. Okay, enter the infix expression from the user. You get the expression from the user and store it in input string. Okay, percentage yes and don't use ampersand because you are getting a string. So don't use ampersand. Okay. So you know this, right? You know this in C program. So input, yeah. So this is what you do first. After that, the first step of the algorithm is push opening parenthesis onto stack and closing parenthesis at the end of input string. All right. We have seen this. That's why I'm going fast. Push opening parenthesis, right? So I'll write push and I'll give you opening parenthesis, and don't forget this single quote. That means a character. So I'm pushing opening parenthesis onto the stack and closing parenthesis onto the input string, right? So I just have to add a closing parenthesis to the input string, right? To that, how to do that? I have to add a closing parenthesis to the input string. That's my second idea, right? Add a closing parenthesis to the end of input string. Okay, that should be the second one. So how to do that actually? To do this, it's very simple actually, but you don't need to write a separate algorithm for that. For that, we have included string.h. Okay, hash include string.h. So it's very easy to perform. Okay, so what you have to do is very simple. I'll say strcat. That's a function from this string.h that will help you to concatenate or add two strings. Okay, one is your input string, of course, and another one is your you know the closing parenthesis. So if you do this, after the execution of this statement, your closing parenthesis will be added to the input string. Okay, the closing parenthesis will be added to the input string. This statement is very crucial and very important. Okay, closing parenthesis will be added to the input string. So okay, you can write an algorithm, but this looks more better, right? strcat is an inbuilt function. All right. After that, what should I do? I should scan this input string by character from left to right. All right. So how to do that? Character by character from left to right. I have to use a for loop starting from I. I have to go up to the end of the string. So for that, it's possible by using strlen. I can go up to the end of the string. It will return the length input string, and it is I plus plus. All right. So in this iteration, what I am to do here is I have to just take this four possibilities. There are only four possibilities, guys. Either an operand may be encountered, a left parenthesis will be there, or an operator will be there like multiplication, plus, minus, and all. A closing parenthesis may be there. So there are four possibilities, right? Let me check the four condition. Okay, here let me do that. Okay, let me write four conditions. Okay, so it's very simple. I'll say if it's an operand, that is an alphabet, right? So how do you do an alphabet? So I have to use a function called as isalpha. Okay, so isalpha checks whether a particular character is an alphabet or not, because whenever I say operand, that's an alphabet, right? A, B, C, D, or E, whatever it is. So isalpha checks whether the character is an alphabet or not, and you don't need to define that function. That is already defined under ctype.h. Okay, this function is available in ctype.h. That's why I've included that also. I should include ctype.h. All right. So yes, it is. So is alpha. You have to just pass the input of I. You have to pass the single character and check whether this is equal to, or you can just leave it. Okay, you can just leave it. You don't need to include any condition, because this is a condition. If this is true, then if of true, so if statement will be executed. So it will check whether the particular character is alphabet or it's an operand. So what should you do when it is an operand? When it is an operand, you should add it to the output string. Okay, add it to the output string. Okay, so how do you add? It's very simple. You have to use the function called as strcat again. Okay, strcat output string is empty, right? So just declare an empty string here. All right, so output and input of I. all right, and this should be a string, guys. Maybe this will be a character here, but that should be a string, all right. So let me concatenate by using str function, or I can do one more thing, guys. Instead of going for this, I can directly assign it. Okay, I can do one more thing. I can have another counter for the output string, say j. Okay, I can have another counter for output string, say j. I'll say j equals to -1. Okay, so because the default the first value will start from 0, so let me have -1 here. And what I'm basically doing here is I would say output of plus j equals to input of I. So understand what I am doing here. To track the output string, I have one more counter called as j equals to -1. Okay, so I'm saying output of plus j, which means that the first index value of j, where j equals to -1 here. So it's pre-increment. First make it 0. So output of 0, output in the output string in the first place, you will be having the this character input of I. Okay, I mean, if it is an alphabet, that will be added to that. Okay, after executing this statement, j will be 0 now. Whenever it enters the next alphabet, j will become 1. It will go to the next place. Output of 1 will have the next character. If the next character is also an alphabet, then it goes again. J becomes 2. Output of 2 will become will be having the next alphabet. Okay, so like that it goes on. Okay, you have separate counter for that, or else you go for strcat function itself. Okay, doesn't matter, but you have to use an string here. You have to typecast this character as a string. Okay, elif, you go for else, else if ladder, right? So let's else if, and let's check whether it is an next possibility is actually an opening parenthesis, right? An opening parenthesis for fifth point. So let me check whether it is an opening parenthesis. If that is true, then what you can do is you can just push it into the stack. You know that, right? You can just push into the stack. Okay, you can just push. All right, and after that, here comes the more important thing. If an operator is encountered, so you have to check for all the possible. What are the possible operators you can check for? You can check for input of I equals to whether it is a um, exponential operator. You can use OR logical operator. OR means, you know, that if one of the condition is true, we're gonna write a lot of conditions. If one of the condition is true, then this particular block will be executed. I'll tell you. So input of I equals to plus, or input of I equals to minus, or input of I equals to slash, or input of I. No need to maintain the precedence here, because anyway we're going to check the precedence using this function, so no need to uh, maintain any precedence. What are the operator? Multiplication operator, I think. Okay, these are the operators. Okay, so if any of the operator is encountered, that's why I'm having OR conditions. Any one needs to be true. If that is true, then this block will be executed. This particular block will be executed. Okay, I will write the code. If that is true, then what I have to do here is I have to just pop the top element from the stack. Why? Because say here in this case, you please check. I have to pop the top element from the stack, and I have to check whether the this is an opening parenthesis. If that is an opening parenthesis, then push this operator into the stack. Okay, and if that has a higher or same priority than the current operator, then you have to do something different. Okay, you know that, right? So let me go for it. All right, so I'll just pop the element from the stack. Okay, and let me store it somewhere. Let me say it is temp. Okay, let me store it somewhere, temporary variable temp. Okay, and check whether, if first of all check whether it is a opening parenthesis. Okay, if it is a opening parenthesis, if temp equals to an opening parenthesis. All right, if that is true, then push the uh, push the temp2 into the stack. First push the temp2, okay. All right, push temp alone, okay. What I am basically doing here is I'm just getting the character from the top character from the stack. I know pop will return only the top character. If that is the opening parenthesis, then push it again to the stack, okay. Don't disturb it, okay. Just pop it. If it is an opening parenthesis, push it again to the stack, and you push this input I also. You have to write one more statement here, push input of I also. Okay, let me write it here, okay. So if the string has an operator, then pop the first element from the stack. Check whether it is an opening parenthesis. If this is true, then push the opening parenthesis back into the stack and push the operator also. Okay, push the current operator also. But yeah, okay. So this is the case here. Else if you can check whether okay, else if maybe if this is not, if it is not an opening parenthesis, there are only two possibilities. If this is not an opening parenthesis, then it must be an operator, right? So check the precedence now, okay. Check the precedence. I'll say precedence of, check whether the precedence of what you have to check, operator at top of the stack has higher or same priority. All right, higher or same priority. So precedence of the top of the stack operator, I mean temp is something that you get from the top of the stack. So precedence of the temp should be greater than or equal to, if it is greater than or equal to in precedence of input of I. We have not written precedence function yet. I'll do that now. Precedence of input of I, okay. So let me go back and write the precedence function, then only it will work, right? So it is getting a character, you can see that here, okay. So how do you define the precedence? You have to give some values, that's it, okay. Let me have a switch case here, and let me say OPE, because that's what I'm getting from the main program, driver program, okay. Let me say which has the highest priority, exponential operator, right? So let me say if case exponential operator, it should return 4, okay. It should return 4, and we should break the break for, I think 3, okay. 3 is the highest number, so a break, okay. If k is equal to the next priority is uh, asterisk, and you can have one more case, okay. Asterisk or slash, both has the same precedence, right? Same priority. Precedence means priority, so both has the same priority. So you can give cases like this, and you can have one more return 2, okay, and break it, okay. Let me break this code first of all. If that is, this has the if this is an exponential operator, then return the highest number 3, break it, okay. You can return 30 also, doesn't matter, but you should return higher number, that's it, okay. And if it is an asterisk or slash, because both has the same priority, so that's why I'm writing two cases here, then return 2, break it, okay. This works like an OR operator, logical OR, okay. If any of these will be true, then 2 will be returned and it will break, it will be broken, okay. And we go for plus and minus operator. This is true, then return 1, break it, okay. Then if default means if any of these conditions is not satisfied, then return 0, okay. Return 0, which means that you are you know getting some character which is not at all in the list, not at all in this, okay. That's it. So let me check precedence of temp is greater than or equal to precedence of input of 5, okay. Let us assume that that the top of the stack, that is temp, right? Top of the stack has asterisk, product operator, input of I is plus, okay. So precedence of temp is what? Precedence of asterisk operator, product operator, can go and check, it is 2. So you will have 2 here, 2 will be returned by the function. This is plus operator, right? For example, so precedence of plus is what? You have 1, okay. So 2 is obviously greater than 1, that's how you can check like this, okay. So top of the stack has higher priority than the current operator, like that you can check, okay. If this is true, then what you're supposed to do, uh, yeah, you have to pop the operator from the stack and add it to the output string. Pop the operator from the stack and add it to the output string. Repeat for every operator in the stack, okay. So It's very simple. You just add it to the output. We have already popped the element, right? So just add it to the output string. This is how you can add. I told you this, right? You can see we are using the same statement to add it to the output string. All right. So after that, you push the current operator also. That's the step you have to do, right? That's the common step. Push the current operator. Okay. So that's why. So you just copy this and paste it here. Of course, you can make it as a single statement after all these if statements. But just for the understanding, I'm making it here itself. Okay. And after that, if it is not true, you have to go for another one condition. If it is an closing parenthesis, all right, if it is an closing parenthesis, then again pop another element from the stack, all right, and pop another element from the stack, I mean pop the operator from the stack. If a input string is a closing parenthesis, as a closing parenthesis, pop an operator from the stack, okay, and pop something from the stack, and if that is actually hold on, then if a input string is closing parenthesis, here you can see pop the operator from the stack and add them to a output string until an opening parenthesis is encountered, guys. You have to repeat this step, guys. So until an opening parenthesis is encountered, you have to pop the operator from the stack and add them to an output string, right? So let me do that here. So let me have a while loop. So temp, so we have already popped, so I'll say temp is not equal to opening parenthesis. If that is the case, then what I have to do here is very simple. I have to say output, add it to the output string j and equals to temp. All right. So again I have to pop. As long as the loop condition is true. If the loop condition is not true, I can stop popping. But again I have to pop, right? All right. Again, I think temp is okay, fine. Yeah, it's good, right? So I think that's all. We have written all. This may confuse you. Please check it once more if it is confusing you. But yeah, I think I've explained the algorithm pictorially, and what we are doing here, we are just implementing. So please go on and try to implement by yourself so that you will get a more idea. Okay. Checking whether it is an alphabet, push it to the output string. Checking whether it is an opening parenthesis, push it in the output string, input stack. Okay, then you check the whether it is an operator. If it is an operator, then you have some work to do. Okay, when you have to check whether it is whether it is an opening parenthesis. If that is true, then push it into the stack. If you have to check the precedence also. Okay, precedence also, and I think you have to get out of this. All right. So that's it. So if it is not an operator, if it is not an operand, if it is not an opening parenthesis, then it must be a closing parenthesis. If it is a closing parenthesis, then do this stuff. Okay. Pop every operator from the stack and push it into the output string, and do that until an opening parenthesis is encountered. I think that will work for us. Now after this loop, let me come back out of the loop. Let me print the postfix expression, right? Printf the postfix expression. Yes. And I'll say output here. All right. So I'll also say %en. Okay. New line. Sorry, I think there might be errors. Let's check because it's a very long program, right? Okay. So there are. Okay, we have to declare I. So that's the first error that we should rectify. And I think return, it's not colon. We have written colon here. Yeah, semicolon. Here it's called semicolon. Is there any other error? Temp is undeclared. I thought. So let me declare temp here. So character temp. All right. So where any others? Yeah, guys, it's working now. So enter the infix expression. So I'll say a plus. Let me go for our example. Say a plus b sorry, a plus b and slash c minus d. All right, so press enter. Yeah, I think it's correct. AB plus, so plus will go there, so AB plus. CD minus, so minus will go there, CD minus. Then slash is the middle operator, so slash will come at the end of the uh, expression. So this is correct, right? So this code works fine, of course. So I'll upload this code. Please go through this code once again so that you will get a good understanding. I hope you understood it, but still it's difficult, right? It's actually a 105 line code actually. Okay, thanks a lot.